Good day guys, it's your boy Joe from Zanzi Petroleum and welcome back to our YouTube channel. And in today's video we are reviewing the Ford Ranger XL Supercab 4x4. So this is Povo spec. I mean, the first thing I said when I got this car, I'm like, man, a Povo spec car. I mean, we have Povo spec lights and everything, but it's a good value for the buck. I mean, starting prices are around 526,000, ranging all the way up with the spec that I have, ranging just under 600,000. So I'm just going to take you guys through the exterior details on what you have on this vehicle. But what I want to show you guys, the biggest topic of today, is that the Supercab is actually a very great car. It's a very great car for someone who's looking for, I don't know, a personal work vehicle. You know, for me, myself, I don't have kids. And I feel like this will be somehow of a perfect vehicle for me in many ways imaginable. I mean, just look at it, except these poverty spec lights. We have a lot of great value for money. So we have details such as the railing over here. This is an optional extra. And you know, we have the typical Ford ruler, which everybody keeps on getting surprised by. I don't know why. We have a 12-watt charging port there and a nice galvanized boot setting there. Poverty spec lights, but it is 4x4, so it's a very practical car overall. So looking to save money and want a workhorse that will suit you for life, this is the perfect thing. And also, did you know that side steps are actually optional extras? Just found that out too. But yeah, let's dig right into it. Here is how the Supercab looks from the side with both the doors open. And I always stress this to people. The rear door closes first, then the main door. Because, hey, security is very easy. But I like that there's extra storage compartments right here. That's for the jack, and the other one, that side, is empty. You know, I just keep my shoes because I'm always wearing sandals. So, yeah, you can lock that there. You can put cushions here. I don't think the law allows it for people to sit here, but in the top better specs, there is cushions also a bit. People can sit. More than amplified space for you to sit and everything. But then at the end of the day, look at the side profile. It's a very beautiful car with a nice, decent interior. It's cloth, standard everything. Even if you still have your daily car, you still need a Supercab to do all your work. You can have the sport car in your garage and still you'll need a workhorse. The Ford Ranger XL Supercab. Driving on the inside, first things first, when you start here, we switch from two-wheel drive to four-wheel high, not low. Low is for dangerous situations. I don't know, let's just say dangerous situations. As you can see how the road looks, we're on gravel and we take off. So this is what is thought out to be the natural habitat for the Ford Ranger. And during the launch of these cars, I must say we spent a fair amount of time doing off-roading activities, and these cars really do work well on such platforms. So, you know, I don't feel like there's no point for me to do an off-roading video with every Ranger I review, because they all basically have typically the same capabilities, four-wheel drive and a bunch of other things. Now we come to the infotainment, because specifically we're in the lower spec model, the XL. So besides having a smaller infotainment screen, and on the other models, this is also a cabinet, and those holes there, the cup holders, are actually cup holders in the more higher spec models. But as you can see there, and they left a hole. And then when you come here, we don't have any mirrors, which is very boring. And as you can see, we have fellow off-roaders coming our way, and this is a Ford Ranger FX, I'm guessing. Looks like an FX from the front. And I'm right, FX4. You know, everybody just making it all dusty. But as I said, off-roading, these cars are comfortable. That's the number one main thing which Ford makes sure of when designing these cars. Now, as you can see, focusing, we are going to more my natural, or most of where this car would see itself. And for that, we switch back to two-wheel high, and the car moves swiftly. for the 125 kilowatts and 405 newton meters of torque, it's not really bad. And I like the Supercab model more, especially because it has similar power to the other XLs. But one thing I like the most about this one is that since it's a Supercab, you have less weight, more, what should I say, more loading space, or yeah, around that same area. It's a bit more spacious, especially because you also have a bigger tow load at the back. So one thing I like about it is that inside it's bigger than the Supercab, than the single cab, and you also get a bigger boot, if I can call it that, than the double cab. Yes, I got that correct. So yeah, as I was saying, I would prefer the Wildtrak for as a, I don't have kids yet, so this would be a perfect car. It's an off-roading car, it's a workhorse. At the same time, it is a very functional car. Obviously, I would prefer the Wildtrak, but if we're coming on a budget basis, the XLT wouldn't be such a bad option with those lights. One thing I totally hate about this car is it not having those xenon lights in front. And it just looks, I don't know, man. It's a beastly car, and then it's shorting the beastly eyes. And as you always hear us saying, it's all in the eyes, Chico, you know, it's always about the eyes. Oh, and I had a malfunction of this infotainment you see here. I'm not sure if this is gonna get me in trouble or what. But there was a day where I started this and it did not turn on. And that was frankly annoying. But after I switched the car off for a couple of minutes, it worked again. But that's something I've heard a couple of the XL buyers talking about, that sometimes the screen does malfunction. But what can you say? Getting into the Ford Ranger XL, and that infotainment, you know, just sparks up. And the XL Ranger is the one that's supposed to be there. There's no push start. We use the key. So one thing I do enjoy is this off-road status function. Let me just make sure again. I'm in four-wheel high, just going through water. So I did go through it for a separate video to this, and just the simple capabilities of this car in such situations. I mean, you guys can see the situation I'm facing there on the video and on my sides. But because I have the Ranger, I'm in four-wheel high. As you can see, if you look at the thing, and the car is in the perfect height inside. Perfect height inside. I'm just doing this for merely content. This road actually goes to a farm, I think. Just hope, Ford is gonna kill me with all the scratches that might come off this vehicle. But I guess at the end of the day, I say it's for the content. Let me just go forward. There we go. Oh. And remember, when you're going off-roading, speed is not a must. You must just cruise nice. And we are out, ladies and gentlemen. I see we're sending a lot of water out of that puddle. I mean, just look at it. The water was yay high outside. So in conclusion, I will talk about the fuel consumption first. As you can see here, we have an option of how I want to view my settings. If you guys have seen other reviews of the new next generation or new Ford Rangers and Wildtraks, and Everests, this is what we have. So trip computer. Ever since I got this car, I've done 1,030 kilometers as we currently speak, and I've averaged, and I think this deserves people to clap hands for me, or I'm clapping hands for myself. Either way, I've averaged 9.7 liters per 100 kilometers. And if you've driven a Ranger or a Bakkie these days, you know such fuel consumption does not come by at ease. In total, I think the fuel I've poured in this vehicle is 500 besides the full tank the vehicle came with it, and I still have an X16 range of 118 kilometers. So if you drive well and drive it for what it's meant to be driven for, and if fuel is not a problem for you, everything is balanced. Petrol. But in conclusion, I love this car. Just not a fan of the XL. But if it's a workhorse and budget is straining you in many terms, you can buy this car. You won't regret it. Maybe get aftermarket LED lights. That's all I complained about. You have cruise control and normal stuff. We don't need more. But please remember to like, share, and subscribe, guys. Thank you guys for watching this video. Catch you guys on the next one. Follow me for more car content. Peace out.